Good evening, everybody. So, this is a quick summary of what happened at Wembley during the Community Shield match between Manchester United and Manchester City. So, Manchester United lost the game after 1-1 at full time and going into the penalties, losing in the sudden death 6-7 against City. So, we'll take a quick summary and then I'll do a separate video on the key takeaways from the match. So, who were part of the match day squad? So Manchester United lined up in 4-2-2-2 formation, just like how we discussed in our match preview video. But there was few personnel changes. So Onana at goal, but then the defensive line, Martinez at left back. Amas was not given the opportunity. Shan Malasia are not fit. Maguire and Evans made the centre back combination with Dallo on the right. Um, in the midfield area, it was Casemiro and Mainu, and the attack front was Rashford on the left and Diallo Ahmad on the right. So on the attacking midfield, it was Mount and Bruno. So we were and when the match began, it was predominantly a 4-4-2 setup where Diallo and Rashford tucked into the midfield, and Mount and Bruno were in the beginning phases the most offensive players on the field. And Man City had a slightly different formation to what we discussed in the preview. So we discussed a 4-1-4-1 formation, but then they had a 4-2-3-1 formation. This was driven by big chunk of the English players like Phil Foden, and John Stones, Kyle Walker, and even Rodri was injured, so they had to change up formation. And there's a lot of youngsters given the opportunity. So it was Ederson at goal. So clearly he's not making a move to the Saudi. Guardiola at left back, Ruben Diaz and Akanji making the centre back combination with Rico Lewis getting the chance on the right wing in the place of Kyle Walker. The midfield was made up of Kovacic, McAtee, and O'Reilly. O'Reilly at the attacking midfield position, Doku on the left wing, and Oscar Bob on the right, and Haaland in the central striking position. So, among the players, I was actually fairly impressed by Oscar Bob. I'll give a bit of the key moments he had in the match later on in this video. So, in the first few minutes of the game, both Man United and Man City they both looked very rusty. They're like, you can clearly see that this is only the season opener and they're not in great shape. Their formations were a bit more rigid. Their players were sort of shaking off their rust, and it was not a good first, maybe even a 10-12 minutes. Towards the 17th minute, the first run into the box on the left hand side was made by Doku. So he penetrated the box very direct. He came in and he just made a cross to the center. Luckily, there was a small deflection from Kobe Maino, and there's no other City player who could sort of poach it. So that was a narrow escape. On the 21st minute, you saw the attack on the other side with Oscar Bob on the right hand side, very direct, showing really, really good footwork. He sort of tucked into the immediately tucked into the left and made a shot, but luckily it was not on target. Subsequently, in the 23rd minute, there was again a mistake by Martinez, and there was a shot on target, but luck again by luck, it hit the bar and it was cleared away. So after that, it was there's a bit of a Man United spell, and it was all coming from Ahmad. So so on the 27th minute, he took the ball again very direct. He ran in, made some one touch passing, and then he directly made a shot, but it was way off target. His bad luck, and then subsequently again in 4 minutes later, in the 31st minute, he made a real good progress. He came in and put the ball right in front of the post, uh, where Edison was almost not there, and he was hoping that Mount would had run in front to sort of strike the ball, but Mount was a few steps back, so it ended up landing up in the no man land, and we missed a very good opportunity. So this was a very good spell for United again in the 35th minute. There was some really uh, one touch, two touch football by Man United on the right hand side, and immediately it got moved to the left, where Rashford was pretty much one on one with Edison, but then he made a kick which was way off target for the skills that Rashford possesses. In the 43rd minute, Doku made a good shot to the right side of Onana, which is a very similar shot to um, the one he scored in the FA Cup final. So he was hoping that Onana would make a mistake, but um, luckily it was not a goal converted for Doku. So um, and then it went into halftime. In the second half, United actually started really strong. On the 47th minute, Rashford made a good run, went into the box, but he couldn't penetrate, so the ball was again rotated. But in the 54th minute, Bruno from the midfield, he made a nice run and he made a shot which went into the goal. It was an amazing shot. The one you can see on the picture as well, but then unfortunately it was an offside. So yeah, but it was a good spell. Immediately in 2 minutes later, Bruno from the corner of the box put a nice ball towards a goal, but then unfortunately there wasn't anybody to receive it. And it was in a very good position. If somebody like Xerxes or Haaland was not Haaland, Hoylund was there, then it would have been an amazing header. But yeah, unfortunately, that didn't happen. Subsequently, in the 75th minute, so in between, there were a few substitutions. United completely changed their formation with Maguire coming off and then replaced by Pellistri. Sort of Pellistri taking up the right back, Dallo moving to left back, and Martinez sucking into the left center back. Amad Diallo was replaced by Garnacho, and Scott McTominay came in for Mount, and Toby Collier came in for Meno. So this is what happened, and then there's a very different formation in play. So um, the back four, Casemiro and Toby Collier sort of being the defensive midfield positions, and up top instead of Mountain Fernandez, it was Mountain McTominay. Um, but it was a bit more fluid because Pellistri was not actually in the right back position. He was taking up more of like right wing back positions with Doku. But subsequently, a few minutes later, Man City also made changes on their side. Since Garnacho came into the field in the 62nd minute to replace Diallo, he was looking super lively. He was making those run-ins, making those passes to the midfield as well. So he was actually looking really, really lively. A few crosses in the 7 minutes as well. But the main one came on the 75th minute, where he made a nice run. He saw Rashford, made a cross, but unfortunately, the shot hit Marcus's ankle instead of the boot clearly. So it went away, it hit the post, and it was, I don't know if it was just Rashford's bad luck or City's good luck, uh, um, or if like Garnacha should have still went forward and taken a shot himself. Um, so it hit the post and it was a mess. In the 78th minute, again, Marcus made a nice pass into the box. It almost fell in at the feet of Scott McTominay, and it was just Ederson to beat. But McTominay missed it, and I think it was the best opportunity to open the scoring, and it was missed by Scott McTominay. But luckily, a few minutes later, there was an amazing pass on the 80th minute. There was an amazing counter attack. So Casemiro and Pellistri made the defensive move, passed it to Bruno, and Bruno, oh man, I love him. If you look at this, the image, you can see how he gets the ball, opens up, and sees Garnacho running and makes a fantastic pass in front of Guardiola, where Garnacho could go pick it up, and Garnacho was really good. So he ran in, tucked into the left, and made a very beautiful shot. Oh man, he is oozing quality. So United took the lead 1-0, but then immediately after a few minutes, as always, United's defense fumbles whenever we are leading for some reason since last season. And this time it was Oscar Bob who created that opportunity. Alessandro Martinez was on him, but then for 1 second he slowed down, and just Oscar Bob was able to capitalize on that. He made a nice cross. Um, Lissandro, for all the love I have for him, it was a mistake on Lissandro for not marking Oscar completely and cutting the pass. But also easily to blame is Pellistri. This is where he is not a right wing back or a right back. So you can clearly see he was few steps away from Bernardo de Silva, whereas a seasoned right back would actually hold very tight to de Silva. So the cross came in nicely in front of the post. Pellistri did try his to his sort of to on the positive side, he did put in all in effort, just trying to touch the ball, but De Silva was class. So he was there, just nudged it into the box, and it was a 1-1 equalizer. Um, and then De Bruyne came in as a substitute in the 90th minute, just to take up the penalties. And then we went into the penalties with the first kick from Bruno, obviously, Man United's leading penalty taker. And it was a goal, then followed by De Silva on Man City side. So it was a good save by Onana. Then came Dallo for United. Um, Edison was able to get a touch on it, but the shot was too powerful, so it just went in. De Bruyne, no comments. He's just class. Like, he made it look super easy. Then there's a nice penalty by Garnacho as well, and then followed by Haaland. Onana was trying to play mind games by moving to slightly to the right side and leaving like 75% on the left side free, and then he was making those moves just to play in Haaland's head. But then, yeah, Haaland is may not be the best striker, but he's a decent enough striker, so he didn't fall for it, and he made the strike. And then came Sancho. So Sancho's shot was saved. So it hit Edison, it hit the post, then it could have fell in inside the line, but then it didn't and moved on. This is where I'm thinking, maybe instead of Sancho, what if Xerxes had come in? Would he have hit the shot? Well, we'll never know. Then it was Savinho on for Man City. Then came Casemiro for the fifth penalty, and then yeah, of course, he hit it. It was a nice penalty take by Casemiro. For the last penalty on the 5-on-5 with Edison for Man City was with Edison, and it was actually a clean strike. I'm not surprised, but impressed at how a goalkeeper can take such a nice clean penalty. Then it went into the sudden death. So it was McTominay uh, um, uh, and Nunes on either sides who scored. Then it was Martinez. Martinez had a really nice penalty on the corner. It was not easy to save it. And the same for Ruben Diaz as well. He made a really nice hit. Subsequently, again, the eighth penalty taker for Manchester United was Johnny Evans, and he tried to hit it in the center. Uh, it just flew so high. Um, I have so much love for Johnny Evans, but I was little disappointed because if you think from any other fan club perspective, um, a 38 year old stepping in Wembley as a first team player and also taking penalties. That's He is a very good center back, but he is. I think Pellistri should have been given a chance before Evans to take that penalty. But yeah, and then Akanji came in, and then it was yeah, it was the Euros against England came in front of his eyes. I was hoping that he would miss it similarly, but he made a clean shot, and Man City won the Community Shield. But to be fairly honest, um, there are a lot of positives for United. So United, were, if you, in my honest opinion, were the better team on the floor, on the ground. It is too bad that we didn't come out winning, but I'm pretty sure we played better football than Man City. So we were arguably the better team across the 90 minutes, with penalties as well. It's a bit of a lottery. So, but yeah, overall, we can just dust ourselves down and get started for an exciting new season. I'm really excited by it. I found the few key takeaways from this match. I'll do a separate video on that. So yeah, that's it for now. If you like the video, click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.